maybe do another initiation. That's joking. So, so how I would like to arrange these prayers, these practices, didn't get to thought, but I didn't get to tell immediately. So the idea is that, for example, in the case of Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, that of course that's already done, that's already finished. So begin with So start with the actual practice and start can be done breathing. The things to come to mind can be done. However, the main practice start with visualization and then do the one can say one can do the Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and normally we recite the praise can be done, and then before that, thinking the kindness of the Guru Shakyamuni Buddha. That this we can also if you're reciting Guru Shakyamuni Buddha's name mantra, also can be done normally. Remembering Guru Shakyamuni Buddha's kindness. That for sentient beings, for all the number of sentient beings and myself, for the benefit of number of sentient beings and myself, Unity Buddha has sacrificed your life, your wealth, family, being born as king, and then gave everything, even the families made charity to others. You see, wealth and the limbs, eyes, or the limb, whatever they need. Then they even the whole life is sacrificed. Like the 5 tiger family who died in starvation, that which is in Nepal, one of the mountains called Lama Buddha. So one can visit that place, and so that's not the only thing. There's so many stories that sacrifice like that. So Buddha, so you the Buddha, did this for three countless great eons. You the Buddha sacrifice your life and you see family and wealth numberless sentences, and for me to help me, to guide me. So for 3 kinds of great eons. Then not only that, then practice morality. Buddha practiced morality for 3 countless great eons by being all those hardships. So for us, how difficult it is. Even finally, beginning with soft, beginning with difficult to understand, and even we understand this, there's even we think beginning difficult to understand. Then there's a fear, to taking the vows, taking the precede. There's a fear, and there's rejection. There's a fear, and then so even one at last, even one took it, but doesn't mean one is able to keep it. You see, bear hardship doesn't mean one can able to go continue and bear the hardships. Doesn't mean that. So you see, generally speaking, so it's not for everybody. It's not the same for everybody. But you see, for some of us ordinary beings like that. You see, so Buddha. But here the Buddha practiced morality. Sacrifice his life, practice morality for us. To save a number of sentiments in myself from this suffering of samsara and bring to liberation and enlightenment. So then practice charity for numberless, for 3 kinds of eons. Then practice perseverance for 3 kinds of eons, and then practice concentration and as well as wisdom. So all these, 6 parameters practice for 3 kinds of eons: collect merit, wisdom, merit, fortune. Then complete path, achieve enlightenment. For purely, for this benefit, you see, liberate, save the number of sentiments and myself from the sufferings, oceans of sufferings, and bring to liberation, to enlightenment. So therefore, therefore, Buddha is kinder than all other rest of Buddhas, numberless Buddhas. Guru Shakyamuni Buddha. Then all the who is the founder of the present Buddha Dharma? Where I was left out. Many other Buddhas happened in this world, but I was left out. Didn't get to guide by other Buddhas. So here, so Guru Shakyamuni Buddha's time. So as Guru Shakyamuni Buddha made a vow, promised in the 500 prayers to guide me and the present sentient beings. This very difficult, this very quarreling time, in this very difficult time, in this very degenerate time. So, but so many prayers that I myself, sentient beings were left out by other Buddhas, found difficult to guide. And Buddha made prayer. Shakyamuni Buddha especially made prayer, chose the sentient beings and myself. You see, in this time, difficult time, was so difficult to attempt, and Buddha made all this prayer to guide. So kinder than numbers of Buddhas, So one way, Buddha sacrificed his life so much for me, like this, achieving enlightenment. And how, I say, so like this, works so much, works so hard. See, for 3 countless years for me. See, but and then what I did was, from my side, what I did. You see how much I say. So then examine one's own practice. Buddha did that much to you. Sacrifice was like for 300 eons, let's say charity, morality, all that. So now what? Say, comparing that, what I did. So you see, so anyway, examine what you see, what's some practice, what's your life. So something that makes you feel, you see, say that I must do better. That you see, in the past life has been like this, but now I must do better. Practice better. So it's to courage to yourself. Now, from my side, I must do better. You see, so courage. Oneself. That is it. To overcome the delusions or to stop those habituated committing those habituated habit, those negative karmas. You see, to so not allowing the delusion and the karmas, you see, give them power. No, it's not that. So give power to yourself. Give power to yourself. Make yourself strong. Give power to yourself. Then giving power to the delusion. You see, that makes you see delusion which makes you weak, which destroys you as makes you weak. So give power to oneself instead of giving power to the delusion. You see, so makes oneself strong. However, then so something kind of shame or shy or kind of shame towards Buddha. Buddha did all this, for 300 eons from the side, practices parameters and achieve enlightenment for us, so sentient for me, you see, and reveal all this path. So from my side, see what I do, how I spend my life. So something, all these mistakes, kind of say shame, So now I must be better. So giving power to yourself. So that. So that's useful. Then after that, we see. Then they're doing the praise to Buddha, Buddha's qualities. And then the 7 practice, mental offering, all those. Then what I was thinking is that after the mental offering, then maybe by following the essential nectar, or you see one of those Lam Rims, so do a little bit of that, to the session, not only session reciting mantra or visualizing deity, but the session to combine with the Lam Rim. So it becomes it is integrated. Recitation is integrated Lam Rim meditation as well as deity meditation recitation. So it becomes very unique and very powerful. So a little bit Lam Rim, going over that and just then go over that and just think individually, whatever, one can understand things, commentaries. Then the letter of Lam Rim, then to next session, the same place, a little bit, few lines or something, whatever. Then, so after the Lam Rim, then recite mantra, then you become the deity and then recite mantra. So this way become, more powerful and very rich. So maybe so the part of the Buddha, the one is time's gone. So maybe the Chenrezig, so maybe we could do like this, integrate the session like that. So we can visualize the Guru, so here you see essence aspect, Chenrezig like that. We can do that, and then we start with the calling. We start with the calling the Guru from far as a motivation. Also becomes for motivation, setting up the cutting the those wrong concepts and to make the mind pure. So we're going to begin with the calling Guru from far, that one. So those who are not familiar with this meaning, those who are not familiar, you can read the English or with the French or whatever, or Japanese. Anyway, and then those familiar or those who want to chant can chant. Then those who are not familiar, they read the French or whatever language that you're reading, or can do both. While you are chanting, while you are chanting, you can have a look at the translation.
78 page.
Can do also like that. The chanting has few reasons. In the Tibetan, you see the Tibetan in the Mahayana Buddhism, Tibetan Mahayana Buddhism, the chanting. One reason of chanting is that it gives time to meditate. Because you are reading slowly, so it gives time to meditate. That's one advantage. Like, for example, Heart Sutras, it's very short, but in Sera Che, for example, Sera Che in Tibet, I think maybe in India they don't do that all night, chanting. But in Tibet, I heard that they do chant the Heart Sutra, very long chanting, and they said that during that chanting, a person can go from Sera Che, can go from Sera Monastery to Lhasa, and can come back. And that's what they say. During the chanting, I guess in middle of the night, so it looks like most people are asleep. It sounds like that. Many monks sort of sleep with the monkhood. It sounds like that. Anyway, I think so. There's a special group, who are specialized channels. So they take that assembly. So I think the idea is that probably supposed to meditate. Meaning of Heart Sutra is the wisdom. I think the idea is that. So one thing, the purpose of chanting is that one thing is it gives time to meditate, and that's the most important thing. Then the other thing is the chanting came from say, great holy beings, bodhisattva, great yogis, came from them with their realizations, bodhicitta, and then on the top of that, tantra realizations, rare tantra realizations. So it carries a blessing. The chanting carries a blessing. Chanting which came from that great, maybe even not, of course, no question if it's an enlightened being, but if it's not an enlightened being, but it carries a very special blessing to affect the mind of the sentient beings who hears the chanting, and also of course, it is motivated that way to benefit our sentient beings. You see, mind to subdue, to tame. You see, to receive blessing. So that. And then the and then the chanting is able to do well, but we have a chant, then also it becomes moving. It is a sport. It becomes sport for the mind. It becomes one sport for the mind to rise. Devotion, renunciation, compassion. To feel stronger, the bodhicitta, devotion to the triple gems, to the gurus, like that, you see. It's in sport, moves the mind, so there are these benefits. So basically, the chanting, even it did not come from a great holy being, but the chanting that you make, if it's something very moving mind, if it's something very moving mind, then that's purpose is fulfilled, like that. So we begin with my chanting is no good, and it doesn't stay the same. Beginnings, it changes. Somewhere it changes. Maybe sometimes it irritates people's mind. So that. So we do the short one this time. So one can visualize above the crown or in the front. Okay, visualize form Chenrezig. Can do that. Yeah. Or just can do that. Or if that is or just the natural aspect, other ways. So before you become the deity and purify something and all that, so preliminary collecting merit. So here first, then if you just merit for the object, you see, making request and say then mental offering, then maybe a little bit Lam Rim meditation. Can do that. However, this to give an idea. Lama Nambara Dawa Lakeje Zamyan Loda Meje Kenje Lebara Tonwe Mugu Jelame Jela Semla Jubaro Jo. Due to all the past, present, future merits, collective material merits, club brothers, oneself, one's family, all the students benefactors, and as well as all sentient beings, may we, including all the sentient beings, may we never rise heresy even for 1 second in the actions of the virtues glorified Guru. And with the devotion, seeing whatever action done and pure, seeing pure, then may the blessings of Guru be entered in my heart. So then we do refuge bodhicitta for immeasurable, and then from generating for immeasurable thoughts, then 7 name, the short one. Then maybe by that time, time to go to bed. Anyway. So the in the presence of the meditative field, Guru Chenrezig then, I think that with 3 cause of refuge, then taking refuge. So that yourself, the oneself, being totally under the control of, being totally under the control of delusion, karma, ignorance, anger, attachment, so forth. The root, the unknowing mind, not knowing the ultimate, not knowing what is I, not knowing what is I, what is self. You see, the total ignorance, not knowing what is I, and the nature of the mind. So this say aggregates. See, so as well as ignorance, not knowing ultimate nature of the other phenomena. So totally overwhelmed. So living those so many mind is deluded with this living having so many wrong views, wrong concepts, superstitions, all these superstitions, so many delusions, hallucination thought, then karma, completely trapped over the, overwhelmed, totally overwhelmed, like in the quagmire of the mud, quagmire, drowned in that, like that, and then on top of that, suffering, suffering, pain, and then the samsara pleasure, which is only this natural suffering. See, and hallucinated as a pleasure, as a happiness. Then this aggregates, which is a pervasive compounding suffering, it's total natural suffering. See, contaminated seed of disturbing thoughts. So it's produced by karma delusion. So totally natural suffering like this, pervaded by suffering, and then experiencing the human sufferings, human realm sufferings. So those 8 types of suffering. Then including the sufferings of the aggregates. Then experience the general suffering of samsara, as mentioned this morning, in the 6 types of the 4 types, whatever, those things. And then for time without beginning, time without beginning. This life is not the first time to suffer. Experience the suffering of samsara, this is not the first time. For time without beginning, from beginning to rebirth, happen like this, suffering. Have never been free, happen like this. And then difficult to see the end. The end of the suffering of samsara. End of one's own samsara, your own suffering samsara. So, so this is the situation how oneself is now suffering samsara. So now, so that is so generating the the awakening fear, you see, come to know what samsara is, and now one gets some idea, one come to get maybe still not complete, but get some idea of what samsara is and how its nature of suffering. Come to know about it, about samsara and how its nature of suffering. See, so this awakening. So then you are starting to awaken, So this, so with that, so there's a fear. You see, awakening fear. So fear comes from understanding. Fear comes from the intelligence, not from ignorance. From from intelligence, from the understanding, from awakening, what is the samsara is nature of suffering. You see, so anyway, so if the child doesn't know that this fire, if the child doesn't know, you see, that this fire can burn. If you went into the fire, it can burn. You see, burn body, and then so much pain you will suffer. If the child doesn't know, will go in a child like the butterfly. Like the butterfly gets into flames, the child would go inside the fire. You see, if the child is not afraid, doesn't know that it can burn and cause so much pain, death like that. So by seeing the effect, by discovering that, then child is afraid to get into the fire. And that fear helps the child, to not get into the fire, to be away from the fire, or poison, fire or poison, whatever. So that fear comes from the understanding, from the intelligence, from the understanding. So like that, similar here. So the awakening fear, so see here, knowing that oneself, knowing that how oneself is experiencing is the suffering of. So one is experiencing suffering of one's samsara. So like that. Then, by looking at the others, the numberless beings, there are numberless sentient beings who are similar like oneself. That has so much suffering, unbearably suffering in the samsara. They're numberless. Other that oneself being the samsara is so unbearable, so unbearable, can't stand even like a person who caught in the prison, can't stand. There's no attraction to be in a prison even for 1 second. There's no interest to be in a prison even for 1 second. There's an interest to be out, to be free from prison, 24 hours, day and night, when I can be free. So only that wish. There's no wish to be in prison even for 1 second. Interest to be in prison. So, so like that, so like exactly like this. Only wish to be free from this samsara. So unbearable. To being caught in the samsara, experiencing suffering, so much suffering, all these different types of suffering, non-stop. So now the numberless other sentiments like this, experiencing the unimaginably experiencing suffering of samsara, time without beginning. They have been experiencing time without beginning. See like this. So in numberless, so and experience unimaginable the suffering of the experience. So and so they were so unbearable, constantly. And so now can't stand even for 1 second. So strong feeling, so strong compassion, so unbearable that that other sentient suffering, the numberless. So therefore, I must free them from all this unimaginable suffering of samsara and bring them to enlightenment. You see. So, therefore, say, I must achieve full enlightenment. I must achieve full enlightenment for all this. My mother, the sentient beings say, or the or the sentient beings, transmigrated beings, from whom I receive all my past, present, future happiness, all my happiness, all the collection of goodness from whom I receive. Therefore, myself and all sentient beings go for refuge. So second cause of refuge is compassion, and third is devotion to Buddha Sangha. They're the only one, Guru Buddha Sangha, who are abiding in front of me. They're the only one who has power, quality, to save myself and sentient beings from the oceans of samsara sufferings, and to bring them in full enlightenment. So that's the third. The devotion, faith is the third cause of refuge. Then, with all these three, then one, with the whole heart, So that mental factor is the refuge. So that is the Sanje Chodang Soji Chonam La Rubu Buddha Sang until the enlightenment is achieved, I go for refuge. So then the proper way to do is that after you generate the three cause, then you see with whole heart love times. See, so so along with that, then do the prayer. So along with that, then recite the words. So that. So normally when we do sadhana in our daily life, always every prayer begins with the Sangye Chodang. So they have to, that time as one can. So first thing, reflect on oneself in samsara, suffering, then numberless others, and then compassion, then devotion, and then go for refuge. So then you see with that, then do the prayer. So that the expression into words like this. The next. So here it shows there are two types of refuge practice, cause refuge and result refuge. So you see, that is explained in the Prajna Paramita, those teachings, the commentaries of the Abhasama Alakarika, like that, section of refuge. That until the enlightenment is achieved, that is the result refuge. So you see, so you actualize true path and true cessation of the suffering. Absolute Dharma, one actualizes with oneself. What are the whether the lessivical path or the paramita and the mind path, this true path and true cessation of suffering. There with the bodhicitta, you see, true path and true cessation of the suffering. The cessation of the subtle mistakes of mind, the subtle defilement, then that you see, that with that with the enlightenment. Svabhavakaya, the nature of the omniscient mind, ultimate nature of the omniscient mind, and then they also that. Then also the wisdom itself, the Dharmakaya of the transcendental wisdom. That which is totally free from the defilement, even the subtle defilements. So by achieving the true path and true cessation, what is the restful part of the higher the mind path, then you become the Sangha. Here the absolute Sangha. Then by ceasing even the subtle defilements, by the true path, wisdom directly preceding emptiness, support bodhicitta, then you then you, as your mind become fully awakened or enlightened, then one become Buddha. So oneself become Buddha Dharma Sangha. so this time oneself become Buddha Dharma Sangha. So the actualized Dharma become Sangha and become Buddha like that. So that's the result refuge until the enlightenment is achieved. Then to do that, to actualize that, then depends on the cause refuge. One has to rely upon cause refuge. The Buddha Dharma Sangha possessed by others' mind. One has to rely upon. So, like to be qualified doctor or expert doctor, then one has to rely upon. One has to learn from expert doctor. Like that. Then you become expert doctor. Same thing. But depend on learned Dharma teacher, and then you become learned. So same. So you also become learned. So like that. So here, so yourself to become to achieve the result refuge. That depends on life and Buddha Dharma Sangha possessed by others. Mind, which is the cause refuge. So two Buddha Dharma Sangha. So that's the cause refuge. That. So when you do this, we practice two refuge, cause refuge and result refuge like that. And due to the merits, and next two verses, and generating the bodhicitta, and due to the merits, having done charity and so forth, any positive actions done. So, recent time is known as. Usually the prayer says, it says, Daijin Soji Sunamji, by the merit, having done charity and so forth. But as soon as corrected, the corrector was preferred to recite Daijin Soji with Chonamji, due to the collections of things, having done charity and so forth. No, I think I think so. The merit is same. The merit, but the merit it has merit. I think here why someone choose the word "talk," which is merit. There is a ishige talk, sunamge talk. Two things, talk merit, but talk is translated some like collection, but I don't think generally talk means gathered, talk. So depending on context, depending what sentence in the context means gathering, assembly, so collection or gathered. But here, talk I don't think it's a meaning of that. Sometimes. Many times it's translated talk as collection, but I don't think here is the case. Here is the, I think, merit, So there are two types of merit, and merit of, wisdom. So, for like 6 parameter practice. So by maintaining on the wisdom, I say, practicing wisdom, then you collect major wisdom. And then, without wisdom, charity, morality, patience, perseverance, concentration. You collect merit of sonam. So merit of fortune. Sonam. I translate merit fortune. In the common language, the person has much merit. This person is very lucky. Very fortunate person. You see, sonam is merit. As a fortune, chempo is great. So similar. So here I see sonam. So I use the same. In the common language, this person is very fortunate. You see, this person is a very fortunate person. So similar. So that is sonam ki chok. So merit of fortune. Ishi ki chok. Merit of transcendental wisdom. So I don't know. That has been a common translation, but I don't know how it is translated. So anyway, so merit of wisdom, so merit of wisdom, ishi getsol, sonam getsol, merit of fortune. Maybe there is a better translation, more good sounding, soothing translation. Maybe there is, I'm not sure. Anyway, so merit of fortune. So two things. So I think the reason why I said the preferred talk, so means you see it includes both merit of fortune by doing practice of charity, morality, patience, perseverance, concentration without wisdom. Then merit by meditating on emptiness is the practice of wisdom. You see, then you collect merit of wisdom. So here. So includes both. But if you say sonam, so you see then sonam, which sounds only one part of your dedication is you're not including the merit of wisdom. You leave out the only merit of fortune. I think that might be the reason why students prefer. He said better to recite Dagachin Soki with Chonamji. I haven't really thought of the I haven't really thought the meaning why some change, but I think it's I think as I'm talking now, I think it might be like that. Anyway. So do this. May I achieve as a developing the Sangye, full enlightenment, in order to benefit for all the dollar pinch, in order to benefit dollar is to the transmigratory beings. Dollar. That when you say dollar, it shows, it expresses the sentient beings are very pitiful, very pitiful, suffering nature, being into no freedom at all. They have no freedom at all themselves, no freedom at all, and totally overwhelmed by karma and delusion, under the control of karma and delusion. And then, because of that, then they continuously suffer. No choice, continuously suffer. How much they do not want to suffer, no choice. So, dollar, so, by transmigrating in the, being under the control of, being heavily under the control of karma and delusion, like the say, like the fly, butterfly or the fly that jumped in the wax candle wax, then jumped inside. You see, then completely wrapped up with the wax of the candle. You see, you see, like that. So like that, completely heavily overwhelmed by delusion karma. And then because that constantly suffering, no matter how much they don't like it. You see, like this, creating, in the sixth realm, the one after another. So, dollar has this meaning, transmigrated beings here. So, like the will, you see, like the wheel of life, if you think it. So, in the center, there's three animals. So, we signify three portions: mind, delusion, then other side, the other side white, this side black round. So, which signifies need karma and virtues as a good karma and need karma, delusion karma. Delusion karma. Then, so did that delusion karma, then they migrate lower realms, suffer, experience. So major suffering is suffering pain. Then they migrate in the human realm, sura realm. So see. There's always suffering of pain and the suffering of changes. Some sort of some sort of pleasure. The suffering, which is suffering of changes, and then the pervasive compounding suffering. That's the same. That is also the lower realm beings. The same. The aggregate is pervasive compounding suffering. So the basis of this life suffering, basis of future life suffering. So they were human beings, sura, same, constantly experience pervasive compounding suffering, which they aggregate in their nature. Then on basis of that, suffering will change, which is some sort of pleasure, and suffering of pain. So like that. Like that. So being under the control of delusion and karma, so they transmigrate one after another in this system, one after another, and experience suffering. Time without beginning, time without beginning. So, how it is circling samsara, how it transmigrating samsara, then it is described by the 12 dependent related limb. The 12 dependent related limb that describes how this transmigrating continuously in one of these, one from the 6 realms, one of these realms. So you see, dollar pincher, in order to benefit dollar to all the transmigrated beings. So dollar, the meaning of the dollar transmigrated being, that describes the whole thing here, the whole wheel of life in meaning of dollar. So you see, no freedom at all to themselves, totally overwhelmed by overwhelmed by the karma and the delusion. You see, 3 parts of the mind. So and then as I mentioned before, then no matter how much they do not want to experience problems, but you see, continuously they experience problems. No matter how much they do not want that life, but no choice, continuously experience suffering. Continuously experience suffering, problems. So in the meaning of dollar, so dollar has, you see, that whole thing. You see how they're suffering, and why? Overwhelmed by delusion karma. How? Then to see 12, explained by 12 dependent related limb. So that. So dollar, this word is something very pitiful. I say, what it expresses something very pitiful. Something very pitiful. When you say dollar, you see, no choice. No choice. The compassion has to rise. The compassion. See, compassion has to rise. No choice. If you think the meaning of dollar, so see, the transmigrated being. So that it's very pitiful. You see, very sad, very upsetting or very sad. Very pitiful. I say. It is a description like that. Yeah, so we do that. Taking refuge, bodhicitta. Reflective marriage field. The marriage field that you yourself and then others, the numberless sentient beings. You see, who has all the qualities, who has all the power qualities, understanding, perfectness, perfect power, perfect compassion. You see, who has all the skills, who has all the skills, you see, to save oneself and the numberless of other sentient beings, transmigrated beings, from the oceans of samsara suffering and bring to not only liberation but full enlightenment. So, with the whole heart, as yourself as a leader, then all sentient beings together are taking refuge for that. So this is, there's nothing more serious, there's nothing more urgency than taking refuge in the life. Son ji ju dang zo ji jo na ma la So, in order to benefit for all the transmigratory being, in order to benefit, so that means freeing them. The meaning of that, freeing them from all the oceans of samsara sufferings, oceans of hell being sufferings, oceans of hunger ghosts, animals, human beings, suras. All these human beings' problems, you see, that we hear all the time in the TV, see in the TV or newspaper, and we hear people around oneself, people around, in the same place, around oneself, the people that one know, how much they're suffering. And then, you see, example of your own experiences, then all the problems. And however, all the global problems, you see, all that. However, to freedom from the, and then also in the meditative stage, the unbelievable suffering there. So, when then from all the sufferings and cause and delusion karma and bring them to enlightenment. So that's included in the benefiting, in order to benefit to the transmigrated beings. So in order to benefit, it includes that meaning. So that's I think 1 year ago, there was a Niti Puja to do for Mitra project. There was, I think, I requested the centers to do, I don't know, some practice to do for Mitra project to get, to, I don't know, maybe to get the funding or to face with some particular problem or obstacles. There might be some specific practices for the centers that I would request, but in the this florid center that which I described before, beginning of the talk, here, florid center, the Kunga center, the geshe there. So what puja they did, he asked everybody to recite. So they gathered and they did Sangye Chudam Soichnala. You see, taking repeating bodhicitta. They did over and over. I don't know how many thousands. That's just that. You see, this geshe. Do you remember? I know the Jap. The Jap came in my mind. Jap. That's his special name. Jap. That one comes in my mind. But the Goncho, that one somehow didn't come together. Jap. Anyway, Goncho Jap. Very has a particular name. It's similar like Lama Goncho. Lama Goncho. Anyway, so so it was very interesting. He told me that I think by telephone or something. He said that he did puja for and they did a lot of prayers for Mitra project. He asked them to recite. Probably, I think I must ask some specific prayer to do, but because people cannot recite that prayer, I think. So what he did is, so everybody can recite Sangye Chudha. Everybody can recite, I go to Buddhama Sangha until enlightenment is achieved, and do the merits for may I achieve enlightenment, not to benefit all the tons of migrated beings. So of course everybody can recite that. So I think so he said he did, and I don't know, hundreds, thousands, something, repeated many times. So I thought it was very, very interesting. You see, even you cannot do those various pujas, cannot. But actually, normally, I think the refuge practice condense all the pujas within the refuge practice. Like that. So maybe, yeah. For example, you see, we do puja because there's some obstacle. You see, we puja for success. So within the refuge, there's purification. So you purify the obstacle there. And you see, by taking refuge to Sangha, then you see what the blessing, the quality what you receive, what you should meditate, that you have received. That is the bodhisattvas, all the qualities, 6 parameters of bodhicitta, you receive, you and sentient being. Then the arhatas, the qualities, the 3 heart training of morality, concentration, wisdom. Then the in the so forth, all the qualities what they have. Then the dagadaginis, task wisdom of non-dual blissfulness. So the qualities I think one has received. And then the protectors, the quality, the blessings. What is that? That is the 4 actions. Pacifying action. So this is what you need. You see. If there's an obstacle, you need pacifying action. Or increasing action. Life, fortune, you see, realization, wisdom, like that. So that's one. So that's success include that. So increasing action, then controlling action, control over one's mind, control over the sentient beings, so that they will listen to your advice, so that teachings. You can bring them to enlightenment, to liberation, to enlightenment. Otherwise, you can't. So control action, then wrathful action. Evil beings who harm so many sentient beings and teaching Buddha. Then, whom the pacifying and increasing, controlling those actions doesn't benefit, cannot benefit. Only wrathful action benefit to that evil being to stop the creating heavenly karma, harming so many beings, holy beings. And you see, if you want to help that evil being, only wrathful action not can benefit. So then they need wrathful action. So wrathful attainment. So protectors. So to split that evil being's consciousness from the body and transcend, if one has power, then transcend in the pure land of the Buddha, where the sentient being can become enlightened. So that is not split the consciousness from the body, and then kind of say, of course, Anyway, then I say, make them to be reborn in the Lord's realm. It's not like that. So by taking refuge to the sanghas, then from the protectors, you receive all these qualities. These 4 actions within you. So here, it becomes a very important puja. You can use this for anything, healing, and the refuge you can use for healing yourself. Healing if you have cancer. I think the refuge practice is the most powerful thing. If you have problems, maybe depression, whatever, do refuge practice, purification. Then for development, same realization, you see, for success, so everything's there, and also to help other people, to healing, or to solve other people's problems. The refuge practice, refuge can use for anything. It's like water. It's like it's like butter, or it's like water used for tea and used for many things. So like flour, like flour they use for pizza, used for noodles, used for ice creams, cakes, or bread. Yeah, that's right. So many things. So refuge you can use for everything. So refuge is not. It's not small. It's not a small, I say, practice. And I think until you become enlightened, I don't think you will know the refuge subject. I don't think you will know refuge subject because to know the Buddha's qualities. Well, here I'm saying, to know the Buddha's qualities, all the qualities of Buddha, you have to become enlightened. You have to become Buddha in order to say, to fully understand every single qualities of Buddha. Otherwise, even 10 Bodhisattva or even 10 Bodhisattva cannot see the secret qualities or secret actions of Buddha. So like that, even though they have skies of, the realizations qualities like that. It is said in the the Sutra of the Chandabhumi, Satchiveto, in the benefits of general bodhicitta, that for the sake of all the sentient beings, I must achieve enlightenment for the sake of all the sentient beings, for the benefit of all sentient beings. Therefore, I'm going to say general bodhicitta. So, thinking that, and then thinking that, and put the palms together at the heart. So, just simply by doing that, you collect a far more greater merit. Then you collect a far more greater merit. And then say universes equal number of the sand grains of the Pacific Ocean. that many universes fill up with the 7 precious jewels, and then make offering to the Buddhas. And then equaling number of the how many eons? For how many eons you may offering? That many offering. How long you may offering? I think eons, equaling number of the sand grains of the Pacific Ocean. For that many eons, that many extents offering, and eons equaling number of the sand grains of the Pacific Ocean. So the offering to the Buddhas, that much merit becomes small. You see, compared to put your palm together, I must achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all the sentient bodhicitta. So this one, merit is a far more greater merit. The other one becomes very small, even though the other one is unimaginable offerings in the world, and the length of time is, for eons, and not just even for 1 eon, making offering that much is unbelievable. But here now, eons, equivalent number of the sand grains of, the Atlantic Ocean. So that, and it is also mentioned in the Lama Adisha's Lambert Path to Enlightenment. I don't remember word by word now. Section of bodhicitta, you see how incredible merit collect, the general bodhicitta. You see, the motivation to bodhicitta is just that the merit, if it's materialized, the limitless sky, this week, the limitless sky is in, like doesn't fit. It says like that mentioned. Don't remember what was something like that is missing. This is unconsiderable. So that. What's time now?
22:06.
Okay. So what do we do? So I think we stop there. They make the explanation. So which is the practice. Yeah. So to the seven limb. So when you say I prostrate, here we can start like this. Pacho tuji chenpo kuchasal. To the pacho tuji chenpo. Pacho tuji chenpo kuchasal. There's no word I. The sublime area, punctual, the great compassionate one. To you, I prostrate respectfully. No. Oh, here I'm thinking the short one. I'm taking the lazy side. The short limb practice. The lazy side. So pacho tuji chenpo kuchasa. I prostrate sublime area, exalted or exalted in English, sublime exalted, great compassionate one. I prostrate respectfully. So start with that. In the Goshen Kubik on the chart, normally we said, but here you see part of the system which is to the pacifying to compassion Buddha. Then rest is the same. Rest is the same. The normal what we do during the course. So this, when you do like this, 7 in practice, this is prostration. This is also part of prostration, but you should visualize numberless body, numberless of your body. You see, at the human form of 1,000 of Chenrezig, you see, laid down from all the directions, cover the whole ground, laid down from the four directions and corners, completely laid down to the prostrating to the meditative field. You see the Guru Shakyamuni that you have visualized in front of you. See, so when you do question, we're going to chart. I say, there's from 7 the prostrate. You do like this. This is also prostration. There's one collect. You achieve very important 8 result. 8 happiness, 8 result from this prostration to Buddha like this, or 10. So from this, and of course, last one, enlightenment, the liberation from samsara, enlightenment is always there. So numberless of your body, or 1,000 of jets, or whatever, see all the bodies laid down from the directions, laid down, cover the whole ground, then prostrating to the meditative field. So I think that. So if you do that, you get the same. Even you have only one body. Even you have physically you have only one body, even you can't manifest like bodhisattvas, manifest thousands, billions, like that, during prostration to like merit to achieve enlightenment of sentient beings, to help the sentient beings. They manifest many billions of body into prostration. So even we cannot manifest even one, now. But you see, if you visualize, so there's cover the whole ground, then you see, we get the if you visualize one more body, if you think one more body and doing prostration together with your body, then the visualized body, see, you collect the same amount of merit. You collect the same amount of merit what your actual body collecting merit. You see, same amount of merit you collect by visualizing another body doing prostration together. Exactly the same. So therefore, the actual body doing prostration, the merit what prostration to Buddha by thinking Buddha. Otherwise, it doesn't have any merit. If we don't think Buddha, it doesn't have any merit. It's just the exercise. It just become physical exercise. There are billions of exercise because there are billions of exercise in these days. So it's become one of those. So anyway, but have to make sure that you think Buddha when you're prostrating. Otherwise, it doesn't benefit or purifying. You see, the power of purifying comes from by the power of Buddha, by qualities of Buddha. So. So by thinking of Buddha, so the power comes from Buddha. You see, how this becomes a practice of purification. What is the logic behind you doing like this, and how to purify the mind, defilement, and karma? Collect merit. You see, is the logic is the power of the Buddha. It's come from power of Buddha, proceeding, respecting to the Buddha. You see, so that. So therefore, if you're same benefit, so with this body, you collect, by doing one person Buddha, it's limitless, like scarce merit, so unimaginable merit. So therefore, if you visualize one more body during prostration, and then you see, you that much merit, how much merit your actual body collect? Double. You see, then if you visualize one more, two more, another more, and then triple. So that you see, so that if you visualize the whole ground is covered your body, then you see unimaginable. So in such very short time, you see collect in unconceivable merit. So that was next to achieving realization quickly and achieving enlightenment quickly, able to enlighten sentient beings quickly, so that, and all your wishes, more merit means your wishes get fulfilled, easily, quicker, like that. So, another time I will explain the prostration. But here, while we are doing the prayer, is what you see. Must take the opportunity to collect this extensive, so many times limitless scarce merit that you collect by doing this meditation. That is what Lama Zopa explained in the Lam Rim in the part of preliminary practice. Lama Zopa doesn't say much, doesn't expand to the preliminary practice, but he mentioned only the essence, only the point what to make so much merit. Each preliminary practice, the very point, you see, that makes your life so most profitable. He just mentioned the point, but didn't describe like liberation palm where other details. So anyway, like that, yeah. So anyway, I think so. We just finished that practice. So. Do you have the short one? Gosunggu we're going to chat about.
So page 28.
The first one is, the Pacho Tuji Temple Kujasal. So I changed to say.
Page 28.
The rest is the same. Then when we say offering, and the mentally and actually transformed offering. So I know that probably Charles, because in America when we did, I think the Secret Vajrapana retreat and different retreats, there were at the stupa was probably the idea might come from me. I'm not sure, but of course I don't make water offerings. I myself, I don't make, but other people do all the hard works during offerings. So there's Lama stupa around. So many beautiful water offerings there. Then then use that during the Guru Puja in the morning or during the practice. Use that as everybody the opportunity to collect merit. Use that all those water bowl offerings is used. So even though only 2-3 people that's the work, performing offerings, but all the rest of the people, when they do Guru Puja, when they do practice, you see, everybody can make offering, include the section of the offering. So everybody collect from each water that is offered Buddha, the merit. I think I mentioned already one day. I said one rice, one flower, if you offered Buddha. I mentioned that what's the explanation Sutra, that the whole some sort of pleasure from beginningless is about what we experience, and what we're going to experience is still not enough. How much benefit it has, result, happiness, all this is nothing. This includes all that. This includes all the samsara pleasures. How much there is, all up to now what we experience, and so it is all that, but it's not enough. You see that result. You see, only when we achieve liberation, only when we achieve liberation, then it's complete. The benefit of that. So that's the liberation. They here great liberation, enlightenment. You see, every offering that we offer to Buddha has this. Every offering that we offer to Buddha has result enlightenment. And then, as I mentioned the other day also, after achieving that, in my view, that still you don't finish enjoying the result of that, because after achieving enlightenment, you see yourself, then you enlighten numberless. You cause temporal happiness, all the temporal happiness, this life, future life, then liberation, enlightenment. You see, you cause to numberless sentient beings. You cause temporary ultimate happiness to numberless sentient beings. You're able to do that. So all this, what I think, you see. So what I would say is, when every sentient being brought to enlightenment, there's no sentient left. Then that is the benefit of each offering to Buddha is completed. So of course, then again you can think all these sentient beings, in the experience of the peerless happiness, is a great bliss. After everyone become enlightened, so I mean, in one way, slowly the result is there. Experiencing, you see, in the state of bliss, supreme bliss. There's peerless happiness. You see, so like that. So therefore, one shouldn't think these water offerings. These offerings is just Tibetan tradition. This is just Tibetan, Tibetan Lama's tradition or something. You see, something like that, sort of decoration or Tibetan Lama's tradition or some Tibetan tradition, something that because Zen, they don't offer Theravada, don't offer Theravada, or offering, but not make offering, but I think not like that. So anyway, so that shouldn't think it's something very, kind of a small thing, that's totally wrong. How important it is. So it is explained sutra. It's not just made by Tibetan Lama. So I say, so important, unbelievably important to me, the practice offerings. And it's so easy, the result is something you can't think about. You can't imagine the benefit you get. You can't imagine all the success. And then it's so easy to do. Questioners from one side do not, but it's you see, including all the realization. So you see, one still incense, or one flower, or one tiny rice, or you see, cup of tea offering, whatever you see, whatever offering to offer to Buddha, statue Buddha, picture Buddha. Now here, everything has result enlightenment. Everything has a result enlightenment. So even you bow down your head to when you see what object, even you do like this. So and the ultimate result enlightenment is always there. So that means without the realization path, you can't achieve enlightenment. Without realization path, you can't achieve enlightenment. So enlightenment is there. So that means this offering, this one tiny rice, this one tiny flower, or which whatever is to offering a statue Buddha, picture Buddha. You see, that includes result, all the realization from Guru devotion up to enlightenment, all the 5-path 10 bhumis, 5-path 10 bhumis, and including Tantra realization. So it causes to actualize path from from root Guru devotion up to enlightenment, everything. It causes to actualize with the heart. You see, so like that, every single offering offered to statue Buddha or picture Buddha or visualize Buddha. So it's a limitless sky. These are unconceivable as a result of what you achieve. Or say, like that. Yeah. So here, what I'm saying. Anyway, take the opportunity to explain. Since we do the 7 limb again. So we should make the 7 limb is a practice most rich, most profitable, and that's what makes to achieve enlightenment quickly. And even generally in your life, everything, whatever you're wishing to come very easily, when you're more merit. So during, so what I'm going to say, during the offering, then remember of course, you can visualize the sky filled with the offerings, mentally transformed. Can do that. But remember all these offerings here actually performed, every single offering there. And then round the stupa, offering that is around the stupa that's offered by some people is there. So, as I mentioned before, how each offering there, infinite, the result, happiness, you see, benefit, infinite, you see. So, from each offering. So it's not easy thing. This is the biggest business in the life. There's no other business has the greatest profit and so easy. Anyway, so remember all these offerings. So also people who are working, making up those water offerings makes more meaningful if you use that. If you remember during the practice, even. So those people who are doing the work, you see, gives more meaning, makes more worthwhile. And then, you see, so like that. So any beautiful flowers around here, outside, So all the offering, any you see that can offer, see, during the practice of offering. And then, all the offerings that which in FPMT center, in the Gomba, you see, extensive offerings anywhere, east, west, anywhere, and can offer, you see, that, the house in America where I live there, except it was time for changing the water, but anyway, there's those large bowls. They are, I think, 400 or 500, I'm sure. Quite in the two rooms, there's many waterfall offerings and a few thousands light offerings in the different rooms. And the ceiling, the whole ceiling, one offering room, the whole ceiling is covered with Christmas light, complete full. Besides the light all around there. So then in the evening times, much more people also outside. So the neighbor was I keep the lights, light offering. You see the inside the offering room, lights, many lights kept kept all the time. So especially night time. So one time there was a difficulty of electricity. In California, limited of power. There was a limited of power. Then, limited of power. Then there was something different daytime and nighttime. So you have to pay more if it's daytime, or because the daytime more people use it, so I think something like that. Then the companies they bought the power or something from other country. So now after some time they become too much power. Before there was limited power, then after too much power, so it didn't bother to offer daytime. So I think it was no problem to offer daytime. So anyway, so the neighbor, there are two houses around it. So one, they're not Buddhist, but they're kind people. So they see through the window. They see from outside through the window. You see, the light is always on. So they're wondering. So they're wondering what it is. They're questioning what is that always on, something like that. Anyway, so up to his house, all the offerings you can think like that. There's also extensive offering in Singapore, and one student house that I asked him to. There's a large house, so upstairs one room, filled with many crystal glass or something, many extensive offerings. So when I make offering with others, so I mention the that student house, Dara's house, then leading to house upstairs, also extensive offering. So that it's both house, Dara's house in Singapore and leading to his house in Malaysia. But the offerings not done by them. Offerings done by Philippines. Water offerings done by their mates, Philippines, which are called Christians. But they're very happy to do water offerings. They're very happy. They do early morning. So one time listening to told me, so they're very happy to do water offerings. She had two Philippine maids. So one time, I don't know what happened. She did the water offering. Listening to herself did the water offering. So the next morning, the Philippine maid got earlier. She got earlier and met the water offerings. So that, but some of them like very much. Also, they want Singapore, the Philippines. I think there's some Salvage Christian, I think, but like very much to water offerings. See, they enjoy very much. I did explain how to make offering one time. Like that. I think that one time she had some problem. she had some problem, something I don't know what it is, but she since she had I don't know asked medicine Buddha to help, and then her problem is gone. So she had much faith to say Buddha. So that okay, now we complete this practice. So if you have translation, then those who are not familiar, then you read the English or the language. So in the front, you see Guru Chenrezig. Generate infant, please, in the holy mind of the medical field. That's the essence of the offering. Everything purified. All the development will come. Also mental, everything completely purified. Also mental, completely pure. Rejoice, do implementation. Without merit, there's no happiness, success at all. So I've collected merit. Numberless from the from time, say from beginners past life, collected numbers up to now, numbers merit collected. So precious. They're so precious, and then merit which will be collected in the future. It's so precious. Then how happy I am. Or how wonderful it is. That I've collected all this merit, and just keep on thinking that how wonderful it is, or how happy I am. Just so generating more and more happiness in the heart, focusing on the merits. Rejoice. Sending us merit, and particularly with the Sabbath. They had 3 times merits. Numbers merit correct in past and present, future. Feel incredible, say, joy, happiness. Rejoice Buddha's merit as well. The past, present, future. We doubled up so many times. All the merits we collected. So many times limitless scars of merit we collected, and we collect limitless scars of merit by the joys of others' merit. So many times limitless scars of merit we collected, and by the joys, especially with the sabbaths, we collected so many times limitless scars of merit. And then you see Buddha's. May I able to collect that much merit for the benefit of all sentient beings? I think that, at the end. Then offering Dharma Chala. This when Buddha requests turning Dharma will, and this offering the long, the throne, double bars throne with the snow line, lifting up the throne. So offer with the request for to have stable life, and then to get the merit to achieve life. So it's mentioned there. Short mandala. Going to this request. After mandala, here Chenrezig practice, we're going to this request, which comes in the Yungne. After having done the 21 precede to Chenrezig, then you kneel down and do the request, that part. So anybody has.
Rinpoche, the one translated by this one, that Tom improved?
Huh?
The prayer that Tom improved, that one, Rinpoche? The praise to Chenrezig? Or the 3 requests?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Nita. Anyway, anyway, I think you remember from the Yungne. So the question is this. This partial generation want to get that stuff like that. As the exalted sublime one, the compassionate arrogant, the mighty one, the treasure of great compassion, who is the treasure of great compassion, with the entourage, please pay attention to me. Please liberate quickly myself. Please liberate quickly myself. Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah, yes, that's right. How it happened so quickly?
Mary has it from the text of the Nune.
Huh?
She has the text of the Nune here.
Okay. Everything's there. Okay. So that's the benefit. That's the benefit of having everything there. Anyway, Arya compassionate eyed one, who is the treasure of compassion? I request you, please listen to me. Please guide myself, mothers and fathers, in all 6 realms to be freed quickly from the great ocean of samsara. I request that the vast and profound, peerless, awakening mind may grow. The total bodhicitta. It is not saying it's not saying omniscient mind, awakened mind. It's not saying the enlightenment as a enlightened mind. Buddhism is thought of enlightenment, the bodhicitta. With the tear of your great compassion, please cleanse all karmas and delusions. Please lead with your hand of compassion, me and my creatures to fields of bliss. Lead to the Amitabha Pure Land, Amitabha Pure Land, fields of bliss. Please, Amitabha and Chenrezig, in all my lives be virtuous friend. Show well the undeceptive pure path, and quickly place us in Buddha's state, the enlightenment. So we do this request into the mandala offering. Okay. Make this request from the heart. Pajo Chenrezig Tuje de Godan Jeban Tala Gongsu Dadang Pama Ritu Semje Nanyo Kowe Zole Dodos Sarjen Jaje Lame Changzu Semyo Jola Jeva Zedos Nanyo Jola Jeva Zedos No. Tome neza leda nyamo nang tuje chabdi nyudo dabara zedo tsarawa gundu ba meda jere su ange tsarawa gundu gewe shezen nyudo mano lamsa lebara tenne ja nyudo sanje sala shadu. And so dedication not only for oneself, but this is to happen to all of us here, and all the student benefactors in the organization, those about their life, and all the rest of the sentient beings. So we dedicate this to happen to all the sentient beings, not just for oneself. It is a request for everybody. So now, then we do the then say can the Guru Shakyamuni absorb, absorb oneself, absorb, then purify the emptiness. Okay, that. Probably, maybe here, then go back to natural abode. Or say dissolving emptiness. So how you there are three ways to do it. However, it doesn't matter. So absorbed with oneself, blessed. Let's see. Then purify in emptiness. Then you see, wisdom, understanding is generated into deity. So that. So can say it doesn't specify here, the ordinary body or the it becomes the body comes up. So then that sounds like maybe this ordinary body, but I think, however, maybe easier. So wisdom, seeing emptiness, then manifests to the form. You see, the Chenrezig, to the form Chenrezig. Then at the heart, syllable A transformed the moon disk, and then she in the center. Then strong light beams emitted from the she fill the whole body, totally illuminated with oneself. Then that then become very clear. Chenrezig, you see, holy body. The one first, forearm, holy body in the white colors. It's in natural light, natural white light, natural white light, natural white light. So first two hand putting palms together at the heart. In the inside there's a wushu flame jewel, see. That signifies the Chenrezig, fulfilling the wishes of all sentient beings, happiness, the activity of Chenrezig. Then second right hand is holding Krishna Mala, that signifies bringing sentient beings to say to liberation, to enlightenment, bringing from happiness to enlightenment. Save from the lower realm, then save from the samsara, then save from the lower nirvana, to bring to enlightenment. So from happiness to enlightenment. Then a second left hand holding opala, a white opala, holding the stem of the white opala, blossom against the left ear, which signifies even though it grew from the mud, the upala has grew from the mud, but didn't have any spot of mud. So even abiding in samsara, but no defect of some unstained by defect of samsara. So signify that. However, that signifies the wisdom. By I think a task by the task of wisdom directly pursuing emptiness. Then you see by action like that ceased all the with the sport bodhicitta, then ceased all the defilements, gross subtle. So is I think the holy mind say totally say pure dharmakaya, they're totally pure from the gross subtle defilements. So it shows Chenrezig is beyond two extremes, samsara and lower nirvana. Then Vajra, so holy body seated in the Vajra posture. So showing that Chenrezig become enlightened in the essence of the four vajras, four vajra postures. Physical vajra posture, drop vajra posture, chakra vajra posture. One I didn't remember. So there's four vajra postures. Maybe one, maybe wind. Sure. Become enlightened. Then the hairs up. See. How to say it? Ralpa. How to say that? Ralpa? Huh? Notice. Yeah. So noted hair, made it up, tied it up. And then there's Amitabha, adorned with Amitabha, beautifully adorned with scarves and jewel ornaments. So visualize that. And in each pores of your body, the Chenrezig body, there's numberless pure realm of the Buddha. So that's showing the power, quality of the Buddhas. What they can do. See. And then at your heart, Mundis, silver tree, beam symmetry, invoked Chenrezig translucent beam, with same one face form, with surrounding deities, better samandra. Then here, mentally making process to make offering. There's no mudra involved, just mind making offering to the wisdom beings. Then Za Hung Bang Ho, the wisdom being, absorbed with themselves, complete become entered, become one. Then and then that which become that was which become one, inseparable, then it's stabilized forever. Then visualize Om, for it, our neck, blue hung, that our neck, blue hung at the heart. Then now focus on the syllable Shri and the mantras around. And then recite mantra, and then after that recite mantra future, recite mantra liberty with that meditation, which is called Kongbu Deva. That kind of recitation. Just focus on the syllables, mantras, and that recitation is called that type of recitation with that meditation is called Kongbu Deva. Then the next one, and then by generating great, reflect the sufferings of the sentient beings. How much they're suffering, each realm sentient beings, how much they're suffering. With that great compassion, then maintaining great compassion, then start the mantra. So what you can do is you can So you can do like Tonglen, take all the suffering causes, all the undesirable things, all everything. Take it into heart and see destroy the ego. That then you can do the practice of giving, or send beams like normally what's mentioned sadhana, send beams from the heart, from the syllable city. Then purified each realm sentient beings. As soon as it touched them, purified all this, liberated them from all the sufferings, purified all the defilement and karma, and they become Chenrezig. So you do that with helping, they all become Chenrezig. You do that hungry ghosts, they all become Chenrezig. You do that with all the animals, they become Chenrezig. You do that with all human beings, become Chenrezig. Then Surasura, they all become Chenrezig. Individuals, they all become Chenrezig like that. And then place become in a pure land of Chenrezig. Like that. If you want to bless the mala, before reciting, you can do it from Nyingne, Basumati Shri Swa, reciting 7 times. There's not a mantra before that. Basumati Shri Swa 7 times. Then you blow. You can, so you can do that. There's another mantra before that. I remember. Basumati Shri 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 Swa. So can be done, but if you bless the mala already from in the morning without the practice, and then it's not required. It's not that you need to do, but you can do it like that. Protect from your names. Omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane. Omane bemeo, 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 omane bemeo. Omane bemeo, 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 omane bemeo. Omane bemeo, 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 omane bemeo. Omane bemeo, 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 omane bemeo. Omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo. Omane bemeo, 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 omane bemeo. Omane bemeo, 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 omane bemeo. Omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo. Omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo, omane bemeo. after purify all the sentient beings, they all become charity. One can make offering. The beams emitting from the mantras carries the offerings. Carries the offerings. Or you can think of offering goddesses, the beam emit the two beams, offering goddesses and carrying offerings, offering goddess in natural bliss, you see, that with all the beauties, and then they making causing bliss to in the merit field, and then carrying various offerings to so fill the whole sky and made offering to all the 10,000 Buddhas. Okay, that made offering to them, Buddha service. Then made offering to all the 16 sentient beings who become compassion. We can compassion Buddha. So that and generated bliss within them. And not just generated, but you think you think essence, all of them essence guru. So one correct most extensive merit this way. So do this. If you haven't done that, then do this meditation. After purified all sins and means, become compassion Buddha. Morning, I think my karma is cool rapid, making offering this. I I think just before clearing the course, the result happened. So this karma is just before starting, just about to clear the course, the result happened. So it's a little bit hard to believe. Yeah? The other important thing is before reciting mantra, the very important meditation that is after your deity, visualize deity. The very important thing is like in all the sadhanas, you remember that mentioned before reciting mantra. So yeah, maybe I mentioned at the time. Yeah. So that. So the what means meaning of Vajrayana? So the vehicle that is inseparable to method of wisdom. So after you generate yourself deity, Chenrezig to become Vajrayana. So practice meaning of Vajrayana at that time. So that's very essential. Very essential. Then it becomes tongue-thread practice. Generating deity with one mind, practicing method of wisdom. So that you see. So here you see profundity and clarity, tongue wisdom, visualizing the deity. The correct way of visualizing the deity, either in the front or oneself, with wisdom, the non-duality of profundity and clarity. So without that, if it did not become that, then it does not become correct meditation of deity. If either the method is missing, either the wisdom is missing. You see. So then, see, it does not become Vajrayana. Inseparability of two. The deity yoga is inseparability of two method of wisdom. See, so if the one is missing, it doesn't become Vajra. And so then, if it doesn't become Vajra, then it doesn't become that swift path, quick path, yana that brings quickly yourself to enlightenment. Is it so that it doesn't become that? So of course, having wisdom without method, of course, then of course it it becomes a remedy to samsara. Is there with wisdom, cutting the ignorance, all that. But one mind practicing method of wisdom together. Yoga of the deity, the one mind practicing method of wisdom, you see, which becomes Vajra, and that becomes Yana, to achieve, brings oneself to enlightenment, to see quickly. So it's missing that, about that. Doesn't function that. So that's very important meditation before you recite mantra. Right after you become ready, then this is what to meditate. Then this will help also when you do your sadhanas and daily sadhanas, tongue to practice. And so then they will. If one doesn't know, then this helps how to do correctly. How to practice tantra correctly, or how to practice yoga of the deity correctly. So that. So now here, so it's not finished yet. It's not finished. There's still left over. So can do. You see after the Bhamasuddha Samayamana Balai Bhamasuddha, the Vajrasabha mantra. Ring the bell, Bhamasuddha Samayamana. Then during that time, during that time, in that time you ring the bell. So this time ringing a bell is not offering. This time ringing a bell, as it mentions, self-initiation text, you see, ringing a bell. The bell signifies the wisdom, emptiness, you see. So sound, the bell sound means, see, the phenomena do not have natural inherently existence. Do not have the natural inherently existence. Phenomena are empty of the natural inherently existence. So the sound means that. The sound is telling you that. Means everything is empty. So you meditate while you're ringing the bell. Then you remember the meaning, what the sound means. Then you concentrate on the meaning of emptiness. You concentrate, look at all the phenomena, I, action, object. See, I, action, creating, karma, all the phenomena are empty. Or at least, I, see, in emptiness, there's no I, creator, action, creating, creation, karma. There's nothing. So, at least that. So, purifying the karma again, by mental emptiness. So that's what it means. At the end, with bodhicitta reciting, ringing a bell is, and as soon as Rinpoche, you see, advice one must ring the bell when you recite bodhicitta mantra, and like this kind of, like these points. You see, so that's Rinpoche's advice. But of course, like Tantric college, when you do puja with Tantric college, there's upper and lower, so they have their own traditions. Every single movement and every single thing is passed, from that great Lama to, so everything is kind of, every single thing is kind of mudras, everything is preserved and regarded very, very important to not degenerate past, you see. So, of course, when you do puja with him, then you have to follow according to the tradition. But generally, his understanding, but his advice that, so like these times, when you do Vajrasattva and the mantra like that, you see, sometimes after you've made dharma offering to the deities, then there's like Omaya Mandaras, there's Vajrasattva is purifying the protectors, if any impure thought, the offerings is impure, you see. So anything pollution, and then you see purifying with the body. By visualizing Vajrasattva on the crown, then purifying. So then, like that. So it's good to, can be done that. So we know then when we do other practice sadhanas, then we come to know, we see the practice, how to do the practice, like that. So, Om Bhaja Sadho Samaya Mano Balaya Bhaja Sadho Dhanava Pema Sadho Sama Mano Balaya Pema Sadho Dhanava Dhira Mudra Mandava Sadho Dhanava Sadho Dhanava Anu Radhana Bhava Sava Sudhe Medaya Sava Gama Sudha Medhi San Leya Modu Runa Aha Ravana Sava Sava Yata Dhamana Nama Dhamana Dhamana Sama Yata So, so the wisdom being came out, which was involved before now, came out, and then seated in the front, one side, then make an offering to that. And then make an offering to that. Om Aya Loge Jore Sabare Vare Arai Gamaya Bade Zavoy Om Aya Loge Jore Sabare Vare Bade Bade Zavoy Om Aya Loge Jore Sabare Vare Bove Pare Davon Zoy Om Aya Loge Jore Sabare Vare Neme Bade Da Zoy Om Aya Loge Jore Sabare Aloge Bade Zavon Zoy Om Aya Loge Jore Sabare Vare Kende Bade Da Zoy Om Aya Loge Jore Sabare Vare Nende Bade Zoy Om Aya Loge Jore Sabare Vare Shavada Vare Zoy. So there's the make a request. So any prayer can be requested. Any prayer can be done for the request.
Rinpoche, in the sadhana here, the mantra for the offering is a bit different. The mantra for the offering. The mantra for the offering we just did.
Yes.
Shall we do like Rinpoche did, which comes from the new Neo, or the one which is in the sadhana?
No, in sadhana it doesn't. Sadhana, you see, it doesn't mention deity's name. It's just the agam. Agam is the name of the offering. It's not the deity's. It's not the deity's name. Agam is just the offering. See, so usually, so usually offering whichever deity is done, offering is done with the name of the deity. So, that.
Here it says Om Lokeshwaraya Saparivare Biya Vajra, then Agam Padyam Pipe. It says Om Lokeshwaraya Saparivare Biya Vajra in this English translation.
Where is it? Not in the Tibetan text. It is not in this Tibetan text. I think probably the translator just extended. So in Tibetan, it's very common to say, it's very common to. In Tibetan, it is very common to say extra, etc. extra. So many prayers extra. From here up to here. From here up to here, and then many extra. So if you haven't memorized the prayers, you have to have a lot of memorization. You have to have a lot of prayers memorized. Otherwise, in the initiation text, many prayer pujas extra. You see, it begins. Then you see, then you cannot find. You don't have it by heart, and you cannot find the text. So Logeshwara is Logeshwara means Jiteng Wangzhu. That's the name of the Chenrezig. Arya means Arya is Arya being. You see. Omaya, so that's the full name. Omaya Logeshwara Sabharvaya. The Arya is exalted Pakpa. Logeshwara Jiteng Wangzhu. So they say. Yeah. Jiteng Wangzhu. One who said. So Wangzhu has six points to explain Wangzhu. The enriched power, holy mind, enriched power. So there's 6 explanations. I couldn't remember now. So it means over the some, I think, control of the samsara. See. That. So the question. So here. So this make the request, wishes, whatever you wish. So any request can be done. So that's translator extended. It's not in the particular. In the here it says from agam to shabda, make offering from agam to shabda. So I try to make it short. So saves ink and saves time, and I think saves paper and anyway. Okay. So it can be done the other one. Not this one, but the one that was it? The one that you got a paper before? Was it? So this can be done.
The praise which was distributed?
Oh, I can read. It says, Tu Señor Puro Tesoro de Compassion, share universal dotato del Any version of the request can be done. There's nothing fixed. Any version prayer request at different time can be done. So can read together to make a request to change. Namo Guru Logeshwara. I see. You, the pure Lord, the treasure of compassion, the universal being enriched with the supreme power, please look at me with compassion. I request the sublime transcendental one, looking with compassionate eye. Please be my guide. Please save me. Please be my captain to liberate me from the great ocean of beginningless samsara. Oh, you who look with compassionate eye. When the gloom of the darkness of ignorance enfolds me, please be my illuminating light. Oh, you look with the compassionate eye. Then here think may I also able to benefit to others and things like this. So I think that, but here this is your just a question to yourself. See that thing, may I be also able to benefit, say in this way. When the blazing fire of anger towards my enemy overwhelms me, please be a waterfall extinguishing it. Or who look with compassion eye, may I be also benefit to something like this. When the violent waves of attachment to friends batter me, please make me realize ultimate nature. Or you who look with compassion eye, may I be able to also benefit to something like this way. When the news of muzzleness tightens around me, please empower my giving. Or you who look with compassion eye, may I be able to also benefit in the same way to something. When the intoxications of the 5 delusion poison me, please, medicine Buddha, be my supreme physician. Or you who look with compassion eye, may I be also able to benefit in the same way to something. When fear at the arrival of death arms me, please show me your face introducing self-nature that is my way. Or you who look with compassion, may I also able to benefit to something in the same way. When the messenger of Yama arising from the karma ascend, please be my refuge and my escort. O you who look with compassion eye, may I be able to also benefit to something in the same way. When the dangerous journey of the unknown battle arrives, please be my close companion. O you who look with compassion eye, may I be able to benefit to something in the same way. When I am aimlessly sick and wander, please take me to your pure land. Or you who look with compassion eye, may I be able to benefit to sentient beings in the same way. When the suffering from karma in the womb constricts me, please shield me with your light. Or you who look with compassion eye, may I be able to benefit to sentient beings in the same way. When the body of an unknowing baby becomes my abode, please. When the body of an unknowing baby becomes my abode, please be my virtuous friend. Of you who look with compassion eye, may I also able to benefit something in the same way. When I offer prayer and always meditate with you on my crown, please be my root guru. Or who look with compassion eye, please may I be able to benefit to something in the same way. When I am praising you, I'm meditating on you, please be the deity sealed with my mind. Or you who look with compassion eye, may I also able to benefit to something in the same way. So, when outer and inner obstacles, bad conditions beset me, please be my pacifying Dharma practitioner. Dharma protector. Please be my pacifying Dharma protector. Or you who look with compassion eye, may I be able to benefit to something in a similar way. When sickness, hunger, thirst, and poverty torment my mind, please grant the attainment of whatever I wish for. Or you who look with compassion eye, may I be able to benefit to something in the same way. When the continual sound of my request for the success of Om Brahma embrace your ears, please always look at me with compassion. Or you with compassion in the eye. Did all the past, present, future merits, present, future merits, brothers. Chanju Simjo Rinpoche, Maja Wanam, Getuji, Kiawanya, Bam, Kone, Kondo, Bewa, due to all the past, present, due to all the past, present, future, marriage, collective, three-time marriage, collective, then see, this 제레스와 티구진다와 고당고의 지단 신감도 되게 신조 상바 진다라고 다수 주어서 this is also in the union and so did all the three times collecting bodies become like only you the jealousy like your holy body the surrounding the entourage like your lifespan then like your pure field like your holy name that wish feeling, jealousy, even just the name, jealousy is a wish feeling for all the sentient beings. See, become wish feeling. Anybody who hears it purify their mind and plans it to enlightenment, everything. So, like your holy name. So to become one like you. So that education. And the way and did all the three-time marriage collected by others. Did all the three-time marriage collected by me by others. Then that which is empty, made I was empty, and achieve generous enlightenment, which is empty. Lead all the sentient beings who are empty. Lead all the sentient beings who are empty. To that enlightenment which is empty. Bama Sarala was empty. Then way that's what comes to such myself and so forth. Wherever we are in that area, so you can think in that universe, world, country area, may fight, quarreling, the poverty, the sicknesses, be pacified. Then increase Dharma, auspicious Dharma, and all the auspicious things to happen. All the inner prosperity, outer prosperity. So you see all the good things to happen. So so that also can pray like that. So this way. By praying, dedicating this way, then it helps the world. Each time when you pray like this, it helps the world. It helps the whole entire world and the country and the area where you are. So you see, like that. So others, they get a lot of benefit by doing this prayer, even though they didn't ask you to pray. But you see. Even the world didn't ask to pray, but they all receive benefit from you dedicating marriage this way. Okay, so so that's it. So I think then we have chai with the Chenrezig. Chai with the have chai with the have chai. Being Chenrezig and with Chenrezig and that's okay. There's one more left. Om Mu. So, Om Bezamu, Om Bezamu. So, like that. Om Bezamu. So then that wisdom being went in natural abode, you see, like that. Natural abode. Then you say, with semi, so yourself, semi being, with the divine pride that I'm Chenrezig, do the conduct. So whether you want dance or singing or so any conduct. So break time, you see, from session, then with the divine pride, I'm a Chenrezig, you see, the divine pride, then do the activities. That's what it is. Okay, so that's it. So thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Huh? What? Yes. Yes. When you made offering, during the recitation mantra, the visualization we're talking about, or here when you do the mudras, which part? Yes. Yes. Make offering to the. Yes. 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 Yeah. That time often are done those who are already enlightened ones, numberless Buddhas, so made offering to them. But there's no question you can make offering to the sentient beings that you visualize become enlightened. So you can make offering altogether. Yes. Yeah. Then also you can make offering to yourself too. You can make offering to yourself too. The best offering. Okay, so thanks so much.